Welcome to Legacy by Design podcast, where we don't just talk about success, we design it on purpose.
Just wanted to put a ad in here. I got a special edition interview at the end of today's podcast. I have an interview with Dwayne Shigg, who interviewed me about the upcoming event. So stay tuned after I'm done and you can listen in on that interview. Good morning. Welcome back to episode 2 of Legacy by Design. I hope you enjoyed episode 1 and got a little taste of what is to come. Please share and like and subscribe to these podcasts. That helps out a lot. All right, today I wanted to get into a little bit of the background of why Legacy by Design is so important to me and what it's based on and what are some of the things that we're trying to spread and to teach and to give, honestly, to people. And I just heard a live by Myron Golden. He says, if you say honestly, he's wondering what you were saying before. So if Myron's listening, I am being honest the whole time. So everything I say is honest. What I am trying to say is that what we'll do is I wanted to give you a little bit of the history of how the systems that I've created, the programs that I've created, this podcast was created to benefit mankind, benefit individuals and organizations, as I said in my first episode. But I guess I should back up. This journey for me started years and years ago, but the pieces started coming together much more recently. And I say years and years ago because I wrote a book called What If? The Secret to Rediscovering Your True Identity about 10 years ago. And this was during a tumultuous time, I guess, in my life. I was going through a divorce, move, transitions, all kinds of things were going on. And I put together that book as a way and an idea that if I was going through these things and these were the tools that I used to help me through it, that I could possibly write those things out and somebody else could benefit from them. So that was the reason for that. And part of the information after doing all that was I went to a class once and the trainer was there, and it was a class on organizations and systems. And the story that he told was a story of an inspector in New York City and a consultant who came into New York City's subway system to speak on their culture and to try and get them to be more efficient and safer, I guess, was the idea. And so the gentleman who was called in to help them with this training and to help them with improve their safety came in and asked to see the records and, the incident reports, accidents, deaths, all those things. And he took a couple of days and went through all the data and then got all the key people together and they had a meeting. And one of the first things he asked in the meeting was, what is the goal of the subway? What is the goal of the organization? And several people said to provide safe transportation, to provide affordable transportation, efficient transportation. So the basic idea with after they were done is to provide affordable and efficient transportation to the citizens of New York and abroad, tourists. The idea is just to provide a way for them to get around the city is the simplest way to put it. And he said, well, what if I challenged that to say, yeah, that's one of the things you try to do, but one of the things you definitely accomplish every year is you kill 15 people. And so they were like, well, no, those are accidents. That's not what our goal is. And he said, but every year, consistently, 15 people get hit by your subways and they die. And they said, well, yeah. He said, then that is if that's your outcome, then that is your goal. And they went through the process of what happens and how that happens and how they have procedures that prevent and should mitigate all of these things. And slowly but surely, the story began to evolve that even though they had the safety protocols, if there had been no accidents in a while, then what happens is if the trains are late, then somebody gets a call and some supervisor calls another supervisor who gets on the conductor and tells him you need to speed it up. And if he has to speed it up, then some of those safety protocols and safety checks have to go out the window because he has to make sure his trains are on time. And with that said, he said, then your goal is to make sure the trains are on time, not that they're safe and that people don't die, because that's part of your system. If part of your system is it's more important for the trains to be on time than for people to be safe, then your outcome is going to be that people are going to die. And after that, they went into some ways to mitigate that, meaning if trains are late, yes, it can be notated, but that doesn't mean that the supervisor needs to get on the conductor. They need to understand if the train being late is, going to happen and it's not something that they can mitigate and that their safety protocols are priority. That late doesn't matter as long as they adhere to the safety protocols. It just has to be notated. And as they talked about it, they understood that your system, and what I took for it and what stayed with me for years, is whatever your outcome is, that's what your system is built to do. So if your outcome is unhappiness, if your outcome is angry all the time and low energy, then that's what your system is built to produce for you. And that's one of the things that has made it into and evolved into my programming in this training. Because, like I said, my mission statement is to teach individuals and organizations how to develop and implement positive growth systems. And those systems are based on what your outcome is, not based on what you intend them to be. And that's a very powerful thing to recognize, because once you know that, once you understand that, then everything can be changed, everything can be modified, everything can be controlled and directed as you want it to be, not just because of society. And that's one of the things that, especially nowadays, with all the talks of the economy and affordability and this policy and that policy, it's really important for individuals to recognize that we have some agency in this process and we can make these things how we want them to be. We can make our lives and design them how we want them to be.
And I'm so excited. My special guest today is Terence L. Shigg. He is the founder of Legacy by Design, and we're going to talk about that. Not only is he the founder of Legacy by Design, but as you can gather, he's my brother. I didn't say little brother because he don't like when I say that. So he's my younger brother. And I can't say little brother because he's taller than me. But anyway, welcome to the show, Talk About It. Welcome our guest, Terence L. Shigg, the founder of Legacy by Design. Hello, sir.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Why are you yelling at me, man?
Okay, I won't yell at you then. You know,
Okay.
big brothers used to doing stuff like that. So
Okay. It's not at me, it's just your
yeah,
dynamic style. That's what
that's it. That's it. That'll work. That my dynamic style, my voice, and my all that good stuff that you just said. That's what it was. You know?
Okay.
So,
All right, we'll take that. I'll take that.
okay, it sounded good when it was in my head coming out of my mouth. But anyway, man, I'm so happy to have you here. You are the founder of Legacy by Design, and I trust that the people watching, well, not I trust, I know they will be helped by the things concerning Legacy by Design. You've got a great event coming up on the December the 18th. We want to get into that. But before we do that, I already gave you a semi-introduction. So introduce yourself, tell the people who you are, what you're up to, and then we're going to get into Legacy by Design.
Okay. Well, thank you, first of all, for having me on here. Any opportunity that I get to share this is fun for me because this is kind of what everything's built up to. Legacy by Design is brainchild of a download between life experiences, books that I've read, and prayers that have been answered. So it's all combination of that. And it just seemed to me that as I experienced more things, as I went from one profession to another profession, retired from one, started another one, and I think we had this conversation once. I started thinking, I can't work for someone else anymore.
Right.
And
We
it
had
wasn't,
about 2 weeks ago.
yeah, and it wasn't anything against the places that I work, but I began to realize that there's been a paradigm shift, and I think a lot of people are behind the curve with the worry about AI and GI and talking about how we're worried about our job security. The way to have your job security is design your life such that you have a legacy of accomplishments, of wealth, health, and stories that you can pass on. So Legacy by Design was really just a brainchild and a passion thing that I want to be able to leave for my little ones, but to really teach people how to live on purpose and realize that you don't have to separate your passion from your profession. You can do both of them. And that's the paradigm that I want people to realize that has changed. You don't have to separate the two. Your passion doesn't have to be a hobby. It can be what actually supports you. And even if it's not a financial thing, it can be a generational thing where you can pass down the things that you've learned to the next generation. So I've created a number of products. Some of them are coaching for individuals, organizations, special groups, anything that I can think of to help people get that idea and shift that paradigm faster, smoother, easier, and to like I said, be able to live their life on purpose.
Hello, my name is Terence Shigg. I am the founder and president of Legacy by Design. I would like to personally invite you to our first ever free webinar. It'll be on Facebook Live on December 18th, 2025 at 6 p.m. If you want to live a better life, if you want to strive rather than survive, then tune in and we'll
learn some tools and talk about some programs that I have available that can not only enrich your life, but enrich your pockets. Look forward to seeing you there. It'll be on Facebook Live on my Facebook page, which is Legacy by Design. The design is spelled DE$IGN. That's common spelling Legacy by Design, DE$IGN. I look forward to seeing you there.
So all of that sounds good, and obviously I resonate with that for obvious reasons, obvious to me and you because we think alike. But what about the person that says, well, I don't have what you have. I didn't graduate from college. I didn't get a degree as an MFT I'm not a licensed MFT. I don't have all those things. I'm just a guy that works at Walmart. What do you say to people that say things like that?
I say that you're a human and you have intelligence and you're working a system right now. Everybody has a system. And that is the beauty of the system that I put together, and I call it a human intelligence system. And it's basically taking your patterns that you already have and changing them to get what you want to get, not what you're getting. So I really believe it's a systems approach, and it came from a book called The Goal. Where's it at? I got it over here, just in case. A book called The Goal. And it's theory called the theory of constraints. And the idea is that the systems are built, and if you want to improve the system, you have to find what they call the choke point, or the weakest part of that system, whatever is limiting it, improve that so that the system works as effective as possible, and then do it again, because there's going to be another choke point. There's going to be another thing where the system breaks down.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we live our lives. We live our lives based on a system, and sometimes we win, sometimes we lose, sometimes we fail, sometimes we succeed. My system takes what you're already doing and helps you tweak it so that you can be successful more often, so you can enjoy life more often. It's not complex. It's not new age. It really is based on just human behavior and optimizing it.
So it's not, you're not working to get people to, basically it's redirecting a pattern or your word system that they're already using.
Yes.
Okay. And so Legacy by Design is, your organization or the group that you created. And so the purpose of Legacy by Design as it relates to all you said is what?
To break the paradigm. So break that paradigm that one is of scarcity and one is of not having all the resources that you have. That's not true. You have the resources. There's a story I was listening to, and they were talking about Pat Riley, and it was one of the assistant coaches. And he was saying how his job got easier since Pat Riley left. And one of the things, they had traveled to an arena and they were supposed to practice. They got in like 2:00 in the morning. They're supposed to practice at 9 in the morning. And Pat told him, hey, where we're supposed to practice is all the way across town. Can you find someplace closer so we don't have to drive all the way over there?
Right.
And it's 2:00 in the morning. And the guy's like, well, who am I going to call at 2:00 in the morning? I can't switch the practice. It's 2 in the morning. And he said, Pat Riley looked at him and said, have you tried? He's like, no, I haven't tried. You just told me. How was I supposed to try? And sometimes that is our limiting belief and our limited system of, okay, I can't do that, but have you tried? I can't be successful because I don't have a degree or because I don't have the experience of those people. And then the answer is, well, have you tried?
Try. Right.
And once you get to that point where you're willing to accept that it's possible, now let's go in and fix the system so that you can do that. Because there's plenty of people that have done it, from Tony Robbins, Myron Golden, Jesse Eitzler. All these people started with nothing. And some of them got successful and failed in the middle of it. So went from millions to zero and then started over. And not all of them had college degrees. So it's possible. If one person can do it, that's a tenet of neuro-linguistic programming, talks about how if one person can do it, another person can do it if you just model that behavior. And that's what my human intelligence system really is based on.
Human intelligence system. Yeah, have you tried it? Your sister-in-law had a stroke. You know that. Most of our friends know that. And then there were some things that she was not able to do. And then as time went on, there were some things that she said, I can't do. And so my response to her was just what you said. Try it. And then if you can't do it, I'll help you. But try it. And 90% of the times when she tried it, she did it because she's just that good. She's just that smart. And so, and I was smart for marrying her. And so, but yeah, have you tried? And there is something in the trying or attempting.
Yes.
You find out things. You find out, okay, I can go up there 5 feet, but what happens when I get to past 5 feet? Can I go 6? Or do I need to make a detour? But you wouldn't have found that out if you stayed at step 1, 5 feet back. Okay. Right. Sounds good. Sounds good. And so you will be, let's talk about your event on Thursday, the 18th. Talk about that.
So on Thursday, what I'll be doing is launching the business. So I already formed the corporation. I formed the framework for how to do the training and the different packages that'll be available. But I wanted to have an event where I could teach the tenets of it, break it down so people could understand really the simplicity of it, and then launch the program and the products that go with it. So everything from books that I've written, workbooks that I've put together, journals that I have, and then coaching programs that I'll be able to teach either one-on-one or in groups or for individual organizations. Because the thing about this system is it is something that works in the small and the big. So it works for the individual and for the groups. So organizations can use this same method to improve their organization. It's been proven. The theory of constraints is used through all types of organizations. Right. And that's one of the tenets of it. So if you break things down, finding the patterns, and that's kind of where the skill comes in, is getting the ear. Well, and I guess I should go backwards. So before I came up with this way of doing things, it was always something that I had to do mostly one-on-one and one at a time.
Okay.
And figure it out each time what's a different way to do it depending on the person. So between my practice and the jobs that I had, that took a lot of energy, but it also made me realize that if it's that difficult for me to do it every time, how difficult is it for every individual? Every time you have a problem, every time something comes up, you have to figure out a new way to solve this problem.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of the genesis of it. And as I got better and better at it, I began to realize that there's patterns to it. And that's from reading things like Simon Sinek, Start With Why. If you figure out your purpose, you figure out why you do things, then you can figure out what to do, and then you can figure out how to do it. That works for one to many. And so that's the idea behind it. Is it's something that really gets you to focus on what you want and why it is important to you. What part of you makes this something that is in your DNA, basically, is what I think, because your purpose is part of you. And if you're walking in purpose, things flow a lot easier than trying to figure out every time, well, why do I want to do this? Or who said I have to do that? It makes it a lot easier.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. Uncle Scuffy says that people do things. Uncle Scuffy, y'all don't know who that is, but that's our uncle. People do things for their reasons, not to. Oh, let me back up. Interrupting myself. You mentioned your practice. Tell people what that is.
Oh, so I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. So I do practice therapy. And so that's what my practice is. And this is a separate entity? And that's a good question. I'm glad you brought that up, because coaching is not therapy. They're two totally different things. And one doesn't negate the other, and I'm not pitting one against the other one. But I believe that coaching gives me a little more freedom to work with people that want the personal development and the entrepreneur side,
Okay.
as well as just being able to look at things from a broader range. Meaning, we can look at the business side of it, the financial side of it. We can come up with business plans. We can do personal development that includes setting up businesses, LLCs, websites, because between myself and my team, we have that experience to be able to do that. So that's what differentiates it from just the therapeutic side of it. There's also an entrepreneur and a business side of it too.
Okay. Going back to what I was saying, Uncle Scuffy, he says people do things for their reasons, not yours. So on Thursday, why should people come? I heard you talking about products and all that kind of stuff. So for the skeptic, for the person that says, okay, why would I need to show up or to come to that? In the words of Janet Jackson, what have you done for me lately? So why do they need to show up on Thursday?
Okay, so for me, the main thing that I always think of, and it was part of why I do the webinar and why I started the company, is create something of value that's in alignment with your values.
Ooh, say that again.
Create something of value that is in alignment with your values.
That's good.
Coming to the webinar, we will expose, express, introduce you into how to get into your purpose so that you can create something of value.
Okay.
And that purpose, the importance of it, allows you to figure out what that thing of value is that's in alignment with your value, because you can't do one without the other. Or you can, but in order for your legacy to be what you want it to be, one that is something that you can pass down, grow, and allow to teach those that come behind you, be it family, friends, coworkers, that purpose is necessary. So I always say it's worth the price of admission just to hear the information about all of that went into the process. So from the book The Goal to Simon Sinek's The Why, from Og Mandino, the greatest salesman in the world, all that information will be combined in this seminar to give you a very simple blueprint for why it's important to discover what your purpose is, and then to break that paradigm that says, what am I going to do with a liberal arts degree? Well, this is what you're going to do with it. It's going to be in line with your purpose. You enjoyed that for a reason. Let's use it.
Right. If you just joined us, you're joining us on Talk About It. If it brings information, inspiration, education, and elevation, we talk about it. And that's what we're doing with our guest, Terence L. Shigg, the founder of Legacy by Design. Real quick, got to drop a commercial in here. I am the author of Encouragement for Tough Times. Just recently re-released this book because all of us have some tough times. And so we have some encouragements for you to get through the tough times, full of motivating messages and some original encouragement quotes like this one here. When confidence and commitment conspire, excuses to quit will expire, and you will reach your dream desire. That's not as good as the one you gave a little while ago, but I think it's still close to it. So this is our latest book, our re-released book. And so you can get your copy. Go to Amazon.com, put in my name, Dwayne Shigg, and you won't have any problems because there's only 3 authors on Amazon named Shigg. I'm one of them. The gentleman I'm talking to is the other one, and our cousin Simeon is the other one. So you won't have any problem. After you buy my book, you can even buy some of their stuff. Okay. Welcome back to Talk About It. Thank you, man, so much for being here. Your focus is on purpose. You've mentioned that so many times. So talk a little bit about the importance of it. How do you know what it is? How did you know or find out what your purpose was?
So, perfect question. and I don't even know if you remember this. One, I truly believe that sometimes you'll be pushed into your purpose, but purpose leaves clues throughout your life. There'll be things that felt right, you'll know. But I remember a specific incident. I was thinking about this the other day when we were talking about the show. I don't know if you remember coaching the YMCA basketball team that I was on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you coached the team. I remember one time we're at the practice is over with, and some of the players were outside. So me and some of the other teammates were outside messing around. And one of the other guys that was on our team, he took the skateboard from another kid. And he was riding back and forth, and the kid wanted his skateboard back.
Okay.
And without, don't know, still to this day, don't know what I was thinking because the kid was bigger than me. But I put my foot in front of the skateboard, so he tripped and flew off the skateboard. And I picked up the skateboard and gave it to the kid. Well,
Okay.
of course, he got mad, so he comes over at me and he's yelling at me. And I'm holding my ground, but it's time to leave. And that's when you had that green Camaro with the
Right.
strap down the middle.
Uh-huh.
And so we're getting ready to leave. So I get in the car and he follows me to the car and he's yelling and screaming. And you remember what you did?
No.
You told me to go finish. You told me to get out the car because obviously we had something to finish talking about.
Okay.
So I got out of the car. We finished yelling at each other. We didn't fight, but then I got back in the car. But you know what that taught me? One part of my purpose is I am one of those people that stands in the gap. I will do it. It's instinctive for me. I don't know
Right.
where. Well, I know where it came from, but that's part of my purpose.
Right. Okay.
Another lesson I learned that day is that if you stand up for something, if you want to stand up for something, you better be willing to fight for it.
Ooh. Okay.
And
Okay.
you taught me that.
Oh. So those, and I like what you said, that purpose leaves clues. So that incident, helping the kid and all of that, that was a clue to your purpose.
Right.
Oh.
And so that's part of the process is going back, finding those clues and putting them into a system that allows you to use that efficiently, effectively, and in a way that allows you to be successful. That'll be profitable. That'll be happiness. You define that. I can't define success for someone else.
Right, right. On Thursday, will part of that, and you may have said it already, will part of that, I think you did, I just want to reiterate it, part of the webinar will be helping people recognize, discover their purpose.
So what I will do is I'm going to teach about that human intelligence system, the steps that go into it. And I'm going to teach you why purpose is important, how to look up and find those clues.
Okay. Ooh.
And how that can make yourself, how you can make yourself profitable by using your purpose. Those will be the topics that we'll go over.
So there is profit in your purpose.
Absolutely.
And that's okay. That was one of the hardest lessons. And you and I have had a conversation about this a long time ago. That was one of the hardest lessons for me to learn, when I started on this particular journey. I mean, all of, dealing with the fact that it's okay to market yourself. It's okay to profit from your purpose, because my frame of mind was focused ministry, preaching, getting people saved, which is what I'm called to do. But also encourage, motivate, push, teach. Yes. And I have had the hardest time fixing my brain to let myself know it's okay to use the purpose, the passion to make a profit. I'm helping people, but it's okay if they, buy a book that's going to help them.
Right. Because if you're creating something of value that brings value to somebody else, then it's going to be worth something. And my goal is to bring value to people that worth way more than what they'll pay me for it.
Oh, okay. So Thursday, what time and how do people sign up so they can come and get all this powerful information?
So it'll be a Zoom webinar. So there's a registration link on, can we put it on here?
I can put it in the comments when we finish.
Yeah, so in the comments when we finish, there'll be a Zoom link where you can register. And then once I open it up at 6 o'clock on Thursday, I'll just have it open so that anybody that hits the link can come on in. But I'd like for you to register beforehand, just so we have an idea of how many people are going to be there.
Okay, is it Legacy by Design 1968? Is that it?
That's my email. You can email me there, and then I'll get it to them. But the Zoom link is one of those HTTP W94620 things that make no sense to anybody.
Okay, now how much is the registration? That's what everybody's waiting to find out, because they say, okay, you told me that. How much is it going to cost?
The registration is free. So this is a free seminar. I want to do this to bring something of value that will introduce you to the company, to the products, because once you come in and see it, then you can go and check out the store, everything in there from meditations to workbooks to counseling and to coaching, excuse me.
Right. Great. All right, we got about 3 minutes, man. Any last minute things you want to say about Thursday, about purpose, about the sweet potato cheesecake that you make? Never mind. I'm sorry. I haven't eaten dinner yet. So any last words, comments you want to give?
For me, the one thing that I have learned as I've done this and figured this out and put things together is that I don't think we realize how important purpose is.
Mm-hmm.
And the download that I keep going back to is that purpose is bigger than the person.
Ooh, yeah.
And if you look again throughout history and you see people that have found their purpose, it's bigger than just them. And that's everywhere from the business world to the civil rights movement to Mother Teresa, Martin Luther King, Denzel Washington. These people that are living their purpose are doing things that impact way beyond just what one person could do, just trying to get ahead. So that to me is the importance of it. And
running out of time, but I'm gonna drop this here. Purpose, when you know your purpose, you really can't help but doing it. And so one of the stories I really remember is one day in high school, that was 100 years ago. There was this a young lady that me and my friends knew. She had just broken up with her boyfriend. And, when you're 16, that's the end of the world. And, Kenny Johnson, he came and got me because there's a place we used to hang out all the time. He came and got me and he said, I got a job for you. Now I'm 16. And so my job was to go over there and cheer her up because she broke up with her boyfriend. And this is 50 years ago. And that was part of my purpose. But at that time at Dorsey High School, I didn't know that was my purpose. I'm just going to, keep this girl from crying, make her smile. But those are type of things that I do with the books. Teaching with just in conversation. And so, like you said, purpose leaves clues. And sometimes at the time, we don't recognize it's a clue.
Correct.
So
now you add that into the whole legacy part of it. And wouldn't it be nice if we knew that 20 years ago? If I could pass that on to my son and my daughters and say, these are the clues you're looking for. You don't have to go down this road trying to figure out I'm going to give you the blueprint to figure it out. So now you can choose. And it's a whole different thing when you choose to not serve your purpose and you know it, than not know it and try to figure it out. But if I can pass that one thing down to say, this is how you figure it out, it's worth its weight in gold.
And so a lot of times right now, people are walking day to day, walking past and walking over clues and saying, I wish I knew what my purpose was. And then they go and help somebody. Then they go and fix a car. Then they go and create something. Then they go, I wish, but the clues are right there. But because we don't recognize it as a clue, we just keep walking past. And so on Thursday, they're going to be able to identify how to identify those clues.
And yes, and even what is even more of a tragedy in my mind is they think that the purpose has to be a hobby.
Ooh, right. I do this on Saturdays. I do this after I leave my job. I do this. Yeah. Ooh. So the purpose can be your profit. It can be the thing you do every day, the thing you can do after you retire, the thing you can do when you want to do it. And it's not just for now.
Right.
Good. Oh my goodness. Okay. I know we got to go, but this is great. And so Thursday, 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Thursday, 6 o'clock. Legacy by Design, the webinar, The Power of Purpose. And there's going to be a link. You can email him at legacybydesign1968.com. Or when you finish watching this, there's going to be a link in the comments or at the top somewhere where you can just hit the link and you can participate. And I'm looking forward to seeing you. It's not my seminar, my webinar, but I'm going to be there. And so do I get big brother privileges? Do I get to sit in the front?
You need to ask a question. I'll let you ask one question. One.
Now, that's a mistake for a preacher. You know that, don't you?
That's why I said one.
Oh, okay. Everybody, let's thank our guest, Terence L. Shigg from Legacy by Design. Thursday, 6 o'clock. Be a part of the webinar, The Power of Purpose. Thank you, man, for being with me tonight. I greatly appreciate it. Hold on. We thank you for being with us, participating in Talk About It. And just remember, if it brings information, education, inspiration, and elevation, we will talk about it. Stay encouraged. Be blessed.
Legacy by Design would like to thank our sponsor, Peace Pack. Peace Pack is dedicated to forming a more perfect union through transformative action that bridges divides and builds stronger communities across America. Peace Pack believes that meaningful change happens when citizens come together with shared purpose, innovative solutions, and unwavering commitment to democratic ideals. If you'd like to learn more about Peace Pack, go to peacepack.com. That's PIECEPAC.com.